I'm Vinny Ferranda, born in WA. I'm a mechanic by trade, underground miner, did all the blasting. So yeah, I bring to the crew a heap of mechanical experience, as well as my underground mining side of keeping safe, looking out for danger, because it's pretty hectic down there. And that works out really well for the salvage gig. I start off in salvage through Luke. I've known Luke for a long time. I usually just give him a hand every now and then when he needs it, but this year he's pulled me in full time. And you know, small crew, just needed a hand and I jumped in.
I got into salvage by chance. Right place, right time. I worked in the boat repair industry for a long time, and one of my clients who we'd just done a big repair on his boat got into trouble, had a heart attack, and crashed his yacht on a reef. And the only person he thought to ring was me.
Because you were the only one crazy enough to attempt it.
Possibly. So we went down at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the police and all that were there, and they were trying to get this guy off his yacht, and he wouldn't get off. So I got the police to tie a rope to me, and I swam across the reef, climbed up on his boat and said, "Chris, we're leaving." And he's like, "No, we're not leaving, this boat's good." I was like, "It's not, it's fingered, and you're gonna die if you stay here." So I tied a rope to him, and then the cops towed me over the reef in the dark, and the ambulance started running CPR on him by the time we got to the beach. Next day, the insurance assessor come down, he goes, "How'd you like to retrieve that boat? Have you got any experience in salvage?" And I said, "Yes, heaps, I've done this lots." And he was like, "The job is yours." 2 days later, we had it back in port, all was well.
And then you kind of realised there was a little bit of a hole in the market, didn't you?
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody in our area that was doing what you were doing.
Yeah, I was like, I can do this.
Yeah. I've seen the tutorials on how to be
I
a
did a few YouTube tutorials and away we went. Next minute, a salvage expert.
So I've been in this industry for a little bit now. It's passion, love it. What wouldn't you love about this? Working in this every day, helping people that are in need. Obviously it is a business, so it does mix it up a little bit, but every day is a different day.
We started off just basically doing free recoveries on the beach. Met Sean, he had the truck, and both of us have just shared the same passion. So we work really well together, it just worked out, and yeah, the business has just gone from 0 to 100 in a matter of about a year.
Yeah, Luke called me up to fix the cruiser, so I went down to give him a hand, ended up in the Northern Territory a few days later.
All right, so we met the boys from Aussie Salvage Squad, probably would have been this time last year.
About a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, so we were at an expo together and we waltzed in with the MOG, you know, but advertised like, "Oh yeah, sweet, we got the biggest gear here." Here comes Luke, bloody rolling down the aisle with the big rig Christopher, and it's just like, damn it.
And we got stuck right beside them, within one stall of one another.
We were literally side by side, and so we started having a chat, and yeah, we just hit it off, and before you know it, here we are. Obviously our business took off. Luke's going bloody gun-ho as well, so you got two businesses side by side now that are just absolutely killing it.
I guess I love the most about the job is going to jobs that people think can't be done and doing it. And be like, "Yeah, I told you so," even though I had no idea it was possible. Just acting like, "Yes, I told you it would get done."
The thing I love about salvage is you get to go different places, meet different people, and every job's different. You can roll into a job thinking one thing and you got to just change up your plan and do something completely different.
Oh, I'm the same. I love the challenge. It's a roller coaster. It's adrenaline always. It's crazy. And it's something that nobody else gets to do, really.
The problem solving side in salvage is massive. It's pretty much the whole job as well as the manual stuff. So it's just constantly changing plans, stuff doesn't work, and then you just jump back in and try something else.
There's no downsides.
Well, there is
There's
downsides.
downsides.
Yeah, there's like shark attacks, crocodile attacks,
Irriganji,
you know, getting crushed between two heavy moving objects.
rope snapping,
Yeah,
falling off equipment,
makes it all good though.
risk versus reward.
Yeah.
We get to stand back at the end of the day and see a huge job that we've pulled off as a team that nobody else could do, and we're all telling us that we couldn't do, and we did it. It took us a week, but we did it.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get to help people that can't help themselves. That's my favourite bit.
I love my job because I get
Spend
to...
time with me.
Shut up, Sean. I love my job because I get to come to places like this. What more is there to love than being out on a WA beach, watching the sunset, watching families fishing, having a beer, having fun. Like, I couldn't think of anything better to do. I'm definitely not a four walls office suit wearing type of person. The outdoors is definitely for me. So yeah, that's what I love about it.
Oh, you know, Arnold the Argo, like while we were building him, a really dear friend of mine who unfortunately committed suicide whilst we were doing the build, he, you know, lost the battle with depression. And he, you know, his nickname was Arnold. His actual name was Arlen. But yeah, we used to call him Arnold and he hated it. So that's why we called him it. And then, you know, when we were putting the Argo together and, you know, Arnold the Argo, it sort of stuck, and it's a good way of remembering him with everything that we do. You know, and he's pretty dedicated. Oh, Christopher. Oh, Christopher goes back a long way. Like, you know, my parents gave me a St. Christopher when I was born, and I've had it my whole life. And, you know, proof's in the pudding. It's kept me alive all this time. And I pretty well just wanted to, you know, a supercharged version of Christopher necklace that could carry travellers across the river.
Yeah, probably, definitely our best bit of gear is Christopher. He's absolutely amazing at what he does, one of a kind, and we definitely wouldn't be able to do it without him.
Christopher, hands down. Arnold's cool, but he's just a small little bastard. Christopher's where the muscle's at.
Arnold's probably one of our most handy bit of equipment. He's good fun, he gets anywhere, but also he helps us pull out cables, and that saves me heaps of manual handling work to drag cables out where they need to go.
We've built some really nice cars. Like, we're about to finish another really nice one. There's a few kicking around that I would put ahead of the rest. So there's a Duramax over in Queensland in a patrol, and the LSAs, so the supercharged 6.2s that we've been building, I've trimmed them right up. They look so nice and they just go like a shower. So I'd say they're probably bang for buck. They are a nice car.
Dangerous job, probably.
They're all dangerous.
For me, it was Carnarvon. That was hectic.
Yeah, Carnarvon was a risky operation for sure.
Just with the size of the surf, we drove from Bustleton up to Carnarvon towards a cyclone. It was
Yeah,
classed as a
cyclone was
Cat 3.
coming in. Yeah, Cat 3 cyclone.
A boat had crashed right at the beginning of the Ningaloo Reef, which is just pristine.
Yeah, it's a big marine park.
Yeah, and nobody else had the equipment or the will to do it, I guess. So we mowed up there, drove straight through, started work the next day.
Yep.
How big was the swell? 4 or 5 metres?
Yeah, 5-6 metres swell.
So we all drowned about 4 times on the first day.
I nearly died 7 times personally.
Yeah, threw up a lot of seawater.
Yeah.
But we did it. We pushed. That was my first experience of pushing Christopher to his absolute
Smoke
limit.
was coming off the winch packs.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
Yeah, there were a lot of times in that salvage where we kind of looked at each other and thought there's just no way that we're going to get him up as high as we need to and survive to tell the tale.
Most dangerous job we did was probably the big yacht out in the nav channel. It was 600 metres offshore. We were dealing with heaps of cable, massive tensions, over 60 tonne of pressure at any point. We had Christopher doing wheel stands. There's a reason why he's got a shield on his winch platform. If something snaps, the pressure it's under, it will whip and take you out, and that heavy cable will just cut you in half.
One of the most challenging jobs we've ever done was a 22.5 tonne tree lopper that had driven down a red dirt wet clay track. We went down, had a look at the job. We had to reposition the winch maybe 4 to 5 times. With the 22.5 tonne, we're thinking, how is this winch gonna pull this truck out of where it is? And we ended up having to, it was so slippery that we actually ended up having to basically secure the mog off a tree to hold it so that we had enough traction to be able to winch the vehicle back off. After a couple of hours and after a lot of repositioning, we finally managed to get it out so they could move on to their next job.
There have been jobs that we've turned down for a lot of reasons, but time restraints, budget restraints, danger factors, lack of equipment, especially when we're on the road and we're mobile. sometimes we just don't have the
Don't
equipment
have the gear,
to pull it off safely.
yeah. Yeah, it
And
makes it hard.
And manpower as well. We're running a skeleton crew. So we're short of
You calling me a
3
skeleton?
people. Look at you. You're useless. You're a toothpick.
There hasn't been a job that we've backed away from. So I think the more challenging it is, the more we thrive on it. So like when I get the call, I've had a few calls like to head up Exmouth and things like that. It's like, hell yeah, I'm there. So providing the customer's happy with the price, we'll be there.
Favourite thing about working with this crew, they're an awesome bunch of people. We have a heap of fun doing stuff, and we're all hard workers, and we all just get in there and get our hands dirty.
We get to get on the road and travel to these awesome places with our family. We get to do this cool stuff with our mates. Like there's nothing better. We get to experience together, all of the team, things that other people would dream of.
We all keep each other boosted, up, happy, giggling, everything that we can do to try to get the job done quickest and safest as possible, but enjoy it at the same time.
When we're successful, sitting around talking about the stories at the end of the day is awesome.
Yeah.
Who did what?
Yeah, and
Who didn't do what?
it's a bond that we share. It's like going into battle sometimes, you know, and we get to debrief at the end of the day and stand back and look at the cool shit that we've achieved for the people that needed us.
Yeah, and watching the team evolve too, like their skill sets getting better throughout the seasons, I get a lot of satisfaction out of that.
If you don't get along with your crew in any job, it makes life really hard. You don't help each other out as much. You sort of look to get out of things, but if you're all bonded and tight, you want to help each other out the most you can.
I've had so many people sort of approach us like, oh, if you ever need anyone, you know, I'll be interested, blah, 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 blah. But it's so hard to put, it's not like when we're hiring for the workshop, you know, they come with a qualification, you know what they're capable of. They come in, they've got all their gear. I've often thought about running the truck somewhere else and just keeping one in Perth, but it's so risky. You put someone else's bum in the seat and you're putting a lot of faith in them. Like, we know we can go do it, but what people are actually capable of and what they say though is another thing. So we deal with things that a lot of people don't know how to deal with.
When we're looking for a new team member for the Salvage Squad, that definitely first off the rank is they have to have a good sense of humour.
You just won't survive without it.
And they have to be prepared to do stupid things.
Yeah, and risk their well-being
Yes, yes.
to do it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of risk.
They also have to have
Deviation there, like
a lot of patience to put up with you.
pretty well no cares about themselves physically. That's got to be it, you know, key contender. First thing, does it matter if you die on the job?
No,
If they
okay,
say
you're
yes, oh
hiding.
no, sorry. If they say no, yep, hide.
Straight away. It's the only prerequisite. Do
Yeah.
you have a death wish?
Do you have a death wish? Tick yes on the resume, you're in.
Welcome to the dark side.
Most interesting salvage job I've done was doing big heavy earth moving equipment out at night. You can't see much. We're dealing with massive equipment and really boggy sand and clay. It went sideways about 80 different times, but once we got it done, it was a massive achievement.
Yeah, so we had this job. We'll cut this story short because it's pretty long. But on the way in, there was a dead roo on the track, and there was a side track that entering right on that roo. So the way this night's turned out, I've ended up having to come out this track. I've taken a wrong turn, and I had a car behind me in tow.
I
And it
was
was
driving the other car.
It was really tight, and so I've actually come out and I've just gone, oh no, right on this roo. And obviously a big truck. I've come around this tyre corner, I've ran this dead roo over, and the smell was just out of this world. And I've heard it pop, and I'm just like, I've already started. I've got out the truck to re-strap, to shorten the strap, and this roo's like right at my feet. And I just want to get out of there. I'm bloody gagging, and my
Sean is
eyes are
actually
watering.
power chucking everywhere. I'm in the client's car with him and his girlfriend. They're gagging. I couldn't stop laughing, watching him spew and the two customers just dry reaching the whole time. And I've got tears rolling down my face.
Yeah.
I was just laughing so hard.
I was laughing, spewing, gagging, and I'm like standing at this thing. Oh, the smell was out of this world.
It was hilarious.
It was pretty funny.
The most interesting job we've done, what do you reckon?
Yeah, that big concrete submerged job, that was pretty cool.
The one that everyone said we couldn't do?
Yeah.
That we thought we couldn't do in the beginning?
Yeah, a lot went our way. It was interesting because so many things happened that made it possible that we'd never dreamed of being able to do ourselves.
It was almost like we were meant to do that job at that time. There were some incredibly magical moments during that job as well, especially towards the end.
Yeah, it was dangerous.
So dangerous.
And we got to meet Ruben.
Oh,
He
Ruben
was cool.
was a superstar. If
Wasn't
we
he?
hadn't have met Ruben, there's no way that job would have been done.
Agreed. That's what I mean, like all those things all just fell into place
Yeah.
and it all worked out.
Which never happens in salvage, ever.
No.
Usually it's everything going against us, but
Yeah.
this particular job, everything kind of lined up one after the other, and it all
worked
came
out.
off, which was a shock.
We don't usually listen to music when we salvage, as when we're dealing with heavy pressures and winching, you really need to listen to that winch go, and you need to hear the sounds and the changes to make sure we're not overloading and about to snap something.
Two totally different tastes of music. It's a
Not-
shit fight.
Not totally different. I like everything, but I certainly like some kind of hard trance. It kind of like builds me up, gets me going. Sean's more of a rock
Yeah.
type of guy. I like both, but yeah, if I'm getting like real riled up for a job, on goes the duff music and I get ready to go.
And on goes my frustration with it sometimes. Yeah, look, I'm a rock boy, like Foo Fighters and Silverchair and things like that. And Sarah, look, she'll listen to it, but she's more of a dance girl.
Luke's got the same playlist that he listens to over and over, which is it's a pretty eclectic mix. You've got bits of everything on there.
Eclectic, big
Yeah.
words.
Well, it's true.
Can we
all
have
to
this interview without Jacinta, please?
We all have to listen to what he listens to, which is fine. It's a pretty broad.
Uplifting songs with a story.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
And a lot of those songs all of us have got memories to as well, because it's the Salvage soundtrack.
Leonard Skinner.
Yes.
Yeah, Bill Leonard Skinner, he's in there.
Yeah, it's good. It'll do. I got into country after coming up to Gove. I swore I'd never listened to country, so that's new. Good.
Yeah, in everyday life when you're digging around with excavators and that, yeah, you have music cranking, but when you're salvaging, there's a lot more on the line, a lot more danger. You need to be looking out a lot harder, so you can't really have those distractions around.
Yeah, so if I didn't leave my original job to come and do this with Sean, I'd probably still be in the dealership world. Automotive industry is where I've always been at. It's a passion of mine. It's hard work, but yeah, it's definitely worth the reward sometimes.
Stuntman. If I didn't do salvaging as a career, I'd be a stuntman.
You'd be in Mad Max.
I'd actually be the stuntman for Mad Max. I'll have to,
Absolutely.
wear a few extra pounds, but you'd be fine. I'd be a great stuntman. I'd do my own stunts. What about you? What
I've
would
seen
you
him
do?
run. It's ugly. He looks like a newborn giraffe.
Do you see anyone in Mad Max running? No,
Yeah,
they're all
everyone's
driving.
running in
No,
Mad Max.
The baddies are. The goodies are driving things.
Probably be travelling Australia in the truck that I originally purchased to travel Australia. I wouldn't have it any other way, I don't think. Since sort of taking salvage as more of a career option than a hobby option, I've found to probably love it a little bit more than what I thought I would. As painful as it is and the crazy long nights, it's just, yeah, the results are so good.
What would I be doing if I wasn't doing salvage?
Waxing vaginas.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
would.
sorry, you've done that already.
I've done that. I don't think there's anything else I'd want to do than salvage. I've done a lot of things leading up to this, and none of them gave me any satisfaction. Yeah.